this morning, live in New York City. Some familiar faces, mine, of course, Kay Adams, Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt, Mike Garofalo.
Don't mind me, just logging into Burleson Surface and closing out this tab that says, how do you get slime out of your clothes?
Oh, it's I love fruity drinks. 5?
Yeah, that's on the favorites right there.
What do you think Nate's password is?
It's probably Nate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead. How you doing, Mike? You got a new baby, don't you?
Same as I have on my luggage. Yes, I do have a new baby.
That's the real wild card.
Did she sleep last night? No. Did anybody sleep last night? No. Straight through. Let's go. Just like in college.
Are there children that sleep the whole night? Because you say it like it's not normal.
No, I hear them. I hear that there are.
There's tall tales.
They're unicorns. They have horns in their heads, I think.
Well, good morning to Vivian.
Good morning to you,
Good morning to Carmen, to Jess, the entire Garofalo family. Of course, happy to have Jeezy here. And I think you've got, you don't have your Surface, but you have your phone there. You've got some intel to give us on some headlines.
Drop a little nugs.
Yeah, so let's drop some nugs. Okay, time for the lead block. Yikes.
That slaps, Mike.
Let's take a look. The NFL playoffs are here. The road to Super Bowl 55 starts with Super Wild Card Weekend. We're juiced, baby. For the first time ever, 6 games on Wild Card Weekend, 2 days of triple headers. It kicks off Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Take a look at that. And then Sunday, Ravens at Titans. A little revenge to be had there by Baltimore. Bears travel to take on the Saints. 7 seed at 2. And then Browns at Steelers for round 3 in Pittsburgh on NBC. Huge AFC matchup on Sunday between those Ravens and Titans I just mentioned. Head coach Mike Vrabel gave his scouting report on Lamar Jackson earlier this week.
I'm not sure we have many people that can match up with Lamar Jackson's speed. So if we have, let me know, and we'll throw him in there. But he's clearly a threat. He's clearly a unbelievably dynamic player who's poses a lot of problems.
So the Titans have caused some problems for Lamar Jackson as well. The Ravens lost to Tennessee back in Week 11. They knocked them out of the playoffs in upset, stunning fashion last season. Now, to give Lamar that 0-2 playoff record that he has now that he wants to change the narrative on. He turned 24 just yesterday. Lamar Jackson, of course, our reigning MVP. Is this weekend's matchup already a legacy game, Kyle, for Lamar, or is it too early for that?
I think it's a legacy game for sure. I define legacy as how you're remembered, how you're talked about. And this will be talked about if he loses this game. Absolutely not. If he loses this game, doesn't mean Lamar Jackson wants to win 3 Super Bowls and go to the Hall of Fame. But this will be talked about because Lamar is not part of a club yet. And this club is not a great club. It doesn't have a line. It's not very exclusive. Let me show you the club that Lamar is not in. Bring it up right here. Here's the club. These are all of the current starting quarterbacks who have playoff victories. Take your pick. Anybody from Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady, all of those players have playoff victories. Now, you won't see Matt Stafford and Andy Dalton on there because they're combined 0-7 in the playoffs. And you will not see Lamar Jackson. Guys, of all those quarterbacks right there, guess how many of them started their careers 0-3 in the playoffs? Guess how many? 1.
Wow.
Matt Ryan is the only person out of the entire list who's done what Lamar might do this weekend. I think that's significant. And I've been an apologist for Lamar in this regard that I've pointed out, well, Peyton Manning did it, and Peyton Manning, the game's changed. Peyton Manning started about 20 years ago. Now you got MVPs, Super Bowl winners still in their 23rd, 24th year on this planet. It's got to change, especially if that legacy conversation involves, well, he went 0-3 and 2 games in a row to the same Ryan Tannehill Titans team. Lamar Jackson is an MVP, but he is not in the same playoff club of even winning 1 game. Got to have this one.
I'm less concerned about legacy. I'm more concerned about the folks who say you can't win in the playoffs with that style of football. And the fact that they might be right. I don't know. I mean, it's 0-2 right now. Could be 0-3. And even last year in that game against Tennessee, he goes for 143 on the ground. They still lose by 16. Yep. So maybe you can't win this way in the NFL in the postseason anymore. Maybe it's nice in the regular season. You're putting up all this yardage and you're so dynamic and it's highlight after highlight, spin move in the open field. Great. Can you win this way in the postseason? Listen, I think you can win in the regular season and the postseason the same ways. But at some point, you might say to yourself, maybe these people are right. I'd rather prove them wrong if you're Lamar and have them say, I never said that, Schrager.
So he's got the pressure of changing the game and having that be effective on his shoulders. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and I remember last year when they played, it happened on a Saturday night. We were all shell-shocked. Sunday happens. Monday we come into the show, and nowhere in our original script was like a Lamar conversation. And I said, guys, to the producers and to you guys, like, I think we have to address that Lamar after 14-2. And it was like, yeah, but he's 23. I don't think. And here we are. The entire season, we ended up questioning, can Lamar win the big one? Can Lamar win the big one? Can Lamar win the big one?
This isn't even the big one.
It doesn't feel like it is, and yet 0-3 next season, you better believe the entire question will be, can he win a big one? Can he win a big one? I thought he won a big one this year. The season was tilting. It was like this. We don't know. COVID-19, the team.
Sure.
Cleveland game, Monday night. I go to it. I feel like this was a big moment for Lamar. We know the story. Runs to the locker room. Says, get out of my way. Gets in there, goes. Trace McSorley goes down with the injury here, which was like, oh my God, what are they going to do? Who even can throw a pass? Is Sam Cook going to have to come in and throw passes for them? Right. Lamar emerges like the ultimate warrior from the locker room, says, let me get in. On a 4th down play, Lamar hits Hollywood Brown.
First play in?
First play in, they score the touchdown, they take the lead, and then Lamar has to go on another drive to get Tucker in field goal position. Like, they haven't lost since. They've looked amazing since. They haven't exactly played the juggernauts of the NFL since, but that's not the point. The thing is, he needed a moment. He needed a moment where he's like, you can come and follow me. I will lead us. He had one this season.
Is that good for you against the Browns?
No, it doesn't mean anything if they lose on. But to lead up to this game, the pressure on his shoulders, like, wait a second, I just ran from a locker room, beat our division opponent, made it happen with COVID-19 all over our locker room. Like, we still figured out a way. I feel like we're the 5 seed. We're on the road. We're not the hype team. We're not the darlings. Like, I don't know. I feel like they had their big win this season. They haven't lost since. They feel pretty good about themselves.
And they should. I think that if they win, it changes the narrative that he can't win a bigger game, but does nothing for his legacy. This isn't a game that, the only thing that can elevate your legacy is getting to a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl. And I do think if he loses this game, that narrative remains. It doesn't. He's still writing, in my eyes, the first chapter of his book. He still is. I'm part of the crowd that says he's 24 years old, Peter Schrager. And you look at other guys around the league. Russell Wilson in his second year was actually a year older than Lamar is now when he lifted the Lombardi Trophy. You've got guys like Drew Brees. They took a long time. I have a list here in front of me. I feel like a Super Bowl situation or a deep playoff run helps a legacy. If he wins this game, it doesn't elevate that at all in my head.
But look at his peers. Deshaun's won a playoff game. Mahomes has won a playoff game. I mean, it's like the guys who he's going to come in with
His
and grow
class.
old with
Yeah.
are already ahead of him. I mean, Drew Brees is on the way out. I think it's a big game.
And to Mike's
really do.
point, his style of play, he might be 24, but the way he plays and the way he runs, we don't know if his career is going to be Lamar Jackson going to be there at 35 years old in the pocket like Aaron Rodgers and Alex. Like, he plays very differently than those guys. It feels like now is the time.
And you're getting to the point now where you're the Ravens and you got to think about that next contract. You know, do you start to say to yourselves, wait a minute, are we going down the wrong road on this one?
I mean, you can't get to that elevated legacy of a Super Bowl if you don't beat the Titans this
beat the
weekend.
Titans.
Let's do it. Let's turn to an AFC team that will not be playing on Super Wild Card weekend, the Texans. Mike G, we are hearing some things about the Jags and Urban Meyer, and yesterday some pretty big rumors about Deshaun Watson after some social media drama. What's going on in the AFC South?
Where do you want to start? Want to start in Jacksonville?
Wherever you want.
Let's start in Jacksonville with Urban Meyer, who is meeting with the Jaguars today, according to our Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero. This is kind of weird in my mind because a lot of times when these big fish, especially when they come from college, when you land them, it's kind of quiet and you don't hear anything until it happens. Yet we've known that this was going to be developing for a while, and now we're finding out about this meeting today. So Urban Meyer, usually not like toe in the water guy, at least publicly. So I'm wondering now, because they're still going to go through their process. This is not like, hey, signed, sealed, delivered, we're just going to make this official today. This is an actual interview with Urban Meyer as they continue to go about their process. I don't know, Schrags. Urban Meyer in the NFL world, your thoughts?
I know that Urban Meyer is a hot name, and you'd think we've heard him for years. I also know Urban Meyer might like being courted a little bit. Let's see how this goes and what this means today. I don't think it's going to be your standard interview. I was joking around, like, is it on the yacht? Is it in Miami? Is it on South Beach? Like, where are they doing this interview? Because a lot of these are on Zoom, on computers. I don't think that's what this interview is. I think this is, let's speak.
He wants to get wined and dined.
Yeah, let's talk big picture here. And Trevor, the #1 overall pick is